Are you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life-hackful show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Congratulations on your abundance. I want you to take a minute right now just to take a look and to appreciate and to notice all the beautiful things that you have around you, in you, working for you. Your heart's beating, your lungs are taking breaths. Maybe you have air conditioning. I am I'm looking at the air conditioner right now. I've had air conditioning problems and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. It's so hot here. And I am so grateful for air conditioning. It got fixed this morning. So maybe you're enjoying that. Take a minute. Just notice your abundance. We are so abundant. We're programmed not to notice it, not to see it, to think we're in lack. But it's not true. So congratulations. We have an amazing show today. I have so excited about our guest. We have Wendy Jensen back on the show. She is going to tell us about dragonflies and their amazing transformation. Today's show is all about transformation. We have the amazing Pavel Stuchlik from Germany. He's actually coming all the way from Hawaii right now. He's there with his family. He's amazing. He's an expert in transformation. He's a DJ, a conscious DJ, and producer. He's many things, and he is a bright, shining light. I got to meet him at the biohacking conference in Florida a few weeks ago, and was amazed at how bright and shiny and the impact that he's having on the world. So we're going to learn about the 4 steps on self-transformation today. So stay tuned. Stay tuned to the end for mantra magic as well, and meditation moment for your activation. It's a life hackful show. Thank you for being here, for spending your very precious time with us today. All right, it is now time to change your state, elevate. Amazing. So this is the part of the show where we raise our frequency to wherever we are, to something even more beautiful. And so today we're going to breathe, we're going to smile, and we're going to hydrate. This is our recipe for today. So take a deep breath in, breathe so that your belly pops out, and hold your breath at the top. Imagine every cell is getting every bit of oxygen that it needs. And then exhale, smiling, and just like wipe off the day, just like shake it off. And then breathe in again, all the way up, down into the bottom of your lungs. Hold at the top, smiling, thinking about all the grateful things, all the things you're grateful for. And then exhale, again. And then one more time, breathe in. Hold at the top, every cell getting oxygen, thinking about all the things you're grateful for. And then exhale, and then grab your water and hydrate, because it's summer and it's hot. And we don't drink enough, by the way. All right. Amazing. All right. It is time for Get Your Shit Together. So excited to have Wendy Jensen back. She's been on the show, so look back in past episodes, either on E360 TV or on my website, Amy Joy Coaching, and you will see her amazing book, The Healing Questions Guide, which I have with me almost at all times, because you never know when you're going to need it. So I put your hands together for the amazing Wendy Jensen. Woo!
Hey there.
Hey,
I'm
welcome
so
back.
excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I am too. And I'm very excited to hear about the dragonfly, because we have this common bond. We are at a retreat and I look and she has this dragonfly tattoo and I was like, what? Because I want one. And then she got telling me about dragonflies on a level that I had no idea. And today's show is about transformation. So Wendy, tell us about you and tell us about dragonflies. It's all yours.
Well, thank you. It's always a joy to be anywhere where Amy Joy is. So this is an honor for me. I'm also visiting Arizona, and yes, it is hot. So I did drink my water, and I'm just excited to be here. My story is I was raised in a high demand religion, and I thought that it was the right path for me, and I tried my hardest to live in it. And I was, warned about leaving and what might happen to me, as many religions have that narrative kind of woven into the theology. And so I just didn't want to look outside of it, and I didn't think it would be my religion that was actually stifling me. And so I did the forbidden, and I actually stepped out and left the fold and have transformed my life quite a bit. And so as I was transforming my life, I realized the difficulty and the trauma that happens when you are shifting out of something in your family dynamic that is so embedded and so deep and so important and paramount in that family's life. And so I was reading Richard Rudd's Gene Keys. Yay, Gene Keys is such a good book, but he has a little paragraph in there, and he talks about the transformation of a dragonfly. And just reading that one paragraph ignited something in my soul. And I'm like, I want to learn more about dragonflies. And up until this time in my life, dragonflies were just, things I might see periodically. And now I see them everywhere. And one will not get by without me seeing it. So I want to share some points about the transformation of a dragonfly that really apply to anybody who is going through a big transformation, whether it's leaving high demand religion, or it could be a hard relationship, or it could just be stepping outside the boundaries of what's normal or what's expected in your life. And it's a big transformation. So in the dragonfly kingdom, this is the law that, of course, I've made this up because I don't really know what their laws are in the dragonfly kingdom, but it's something like this. Don't go above the surface of the water, for if you do, you will surely die. Because as a dragon nymph who are born and hatched in the water, they're a little tiny brown bug. And they're swimming around in this murky water, eating plankton and larvae and little things that you eat when you are an aquatic creature. And so they can't imagine, or at least I imagine, they can't imagine being anything other than this little brown dragon nymph. And so they live this aquatic life with their aquatic peers and their aquatic family, and they will do this molting or shed their exoskeleton about 6 to 14 times, depending on how many just their surroundings, their environment, the food, the temperature, and which type of dragonfly they are. And so they have this shedding going on, but something unique happens to them when they have what's called their final shedding. And that is they are called into the forbidden waters, into the forbidden place. And that is their soul has a hankering for going above the surface of the water. But the dragonfly family realizes that if you go above the surface of the water, the dragon nymphs know that if you go above the surface of the water, you will never come back. And so in their mind, imagine it would be death, because they never see them again. And each dragonfly does it at the time that's right for them. And for me, as I was leaving religion, it was a series of questions that I started asking myself that caused my mind to start expanding beyond what I had been taught. And what happens in that situation is we have to do it quietly and personally. And the same thing happens with dragonflies. They will go to the surface of the water and they will start to bring in the air. And up until this time, the air had been forbidden and not something that they were drawn to, but instinctually and primally, they intuitively go to the air and they drink in some air, and it takes a while for their system to be able to accommodate that. So they'll sip some air and they go back to the water and air and water. And they do this at night on their own because they are at the risk of being prey if they're seen in the light of day.
Wow.
And for a lot of us, that happens to us because there is a high risk of people that we love and people that we're close to finding out that we're shifting, that we're changing, that we're expanding, and it could look a lot dangerous to them. And so we do it really quietly and personally. And so this dragonfly will go in the cover of night and drink, I say drink the air, but it's like breathe in some air and then drink some water until at one point it knows that it must take the risk and go into the light of day.
Wow.
And for me, this was like reading some truth or having some doubt and being so curious about it that my mind couldn't stop. I couldn't stop my transformation if I tried. And that's the same with the dragonfly. But there came a time in my life where I had to risk losing my family and my friends and my relevance in the community in order to stop betraying myself. Yeah. And that to me is symbolic of the dragonfly instinctually climbing up a reed and going into the light of day. And that sunshine is so essential for its final shedding. And that little brown bug that you probably wouldn't even recognize it if you saw it in the water, just looks like a little brown water bug. But inside of that, its body has grown 3 times the size of its exoskeleton, and the pressure inside of there is demanding for it to shed. And the first thing that happens after the water, or after the sun comes to it, is the head will crack open and out comes this whole new entire body. Its eyes, in proportion to if we were a dragonfly, are as big as a basketball on both sides. And its lenses have changed. The eye lenses have changed. You and I have 2 lenses, 1, 2. A dragonfly has 30,000 lenses on each eye, and it goes all the way back around their head to almost a 360-degree vision. And to me, that represents being able to expand your vision, to be able to accommodate new perspectives, and being able to see the world in a whole different way, and not just through the lens of what you've been taught. And so this dragonfly head comes out and has these big, beautiful eyes, which has got to be a lot to get used to. But it also unrolls this thorax, this big, long thorax that you would never imagine was in that little tiny brown bug. And that dragonfly has a built-in hydraulic system that pumps the water out and brings the oxygen in until that thorax is nice and thick and juicy. And then imagine that dragonfly has something weird going on its back, something it's never felt when it was in the water. And that's like a little tiny backpack that as the air pumps into its body, it starts to recognize wings that start to flap open. And what's unique about the dragonfly is that unlike a butterfly whose wings go tandem together like this, the dragonfly's wings operate independently. And no 2 wings are alike. Wow. And so just to close a lot of this up here, because I know we're limited on time, but I hope this inspires you to go research. In fact, how much time do I have?
You have like a minute.
Okay, good. So one thing about a dragonfly is you can imagine once it sees itself, and it's so beautiful and it's so amazing, and it realizes not only was I an aquatic creature and I wasn't meant just for the water, but now I'm an aerial and a land creature, and I get to eat new bugs and new food and a whole new diet, and I bring in a whole entire new life. That of course it wants to look in the water and say, you guys, we're dragonflies, come on out. And the problem is, if we dipped in there and pulled out a dragon nymph and put it out in the sun before it's time, it would kill it. Mm-hmm. But we want people to know so bad. And one of the main things that I teach in my coaching is the LOVE method, or the LOVE acronym. And that is, we have to learn as we grow in consciousness to let others voluntarily evolve. Mm-hmm. Let them ask the questions that will start their unfolding, and allow them to grow at a pace that works for them. That there's no rush on their development, but that you can be there in all your majesty and with your wings flapping and invite them into the world that was always theirs to begin with.
Oh my gosh.
I hope that was helpful.
So good. I'm like in tears. You captured my heart. We have that in common, leaving a high demand religion. And yeah, once you're flying and you know how amazing you want everyone to know.
Yeah, it's hard to keep it quiet. Yeah, and I have to say, I don't always do it gracefully. I certainly don't always do it gracefully.
I certainly have lacked in that as well. I didn't know your others formula. But it's true. I think you just have to live your life authentically and beautifully, as you said. And
well, there's one more thing, and that is what we might not understand is whatever we were doing in the water as dragon nymphs prepared us to be, for a dragonfly to be the most resilient animal on the planet. We have fossils of dragonflies that range from 300 million years.
Wow.
And that when we understand that we're being prepared for something bigger and better, that whatever they were doing in the water caused them to be able to pivot, to hover, to fly faster than any other flying creature that's out there. And so to trust what's going on in the water and those hardships can really catapult us into who it is we're meant to be.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for coming.
So happy to.
Oh my God, I love you so much. The Healings Questions Guide, it's Wendy's book. It's any ailment, you look it up and it tells you the emotional reasons and questions to ask so that you can heal it yourself. I love you, Wendy. We'll have you back again. I have no doubt.
Awesome.
I love you. Mwah.
Thank you, Amy. Take care, all.
Bye-bye. Oh, love her so much. All right, it is time for our guest of the week. I am very excited to introduce you to NOA. Well, his name is Pavel Stuchlik from NOA AON, and he has over 15 years of experience traveling the world and immersing himself in some of the most rigorous teachings. NOA has become an expert in transformation, self-realization, and harmonious living. As an international conscious DJ producer, serial impact 7-figure entrepreneur and investor, certified ambassador of peace. I love that. And Wim Hof instructor, NOA has a unique and diverse set of skills that he brings to his workshops, immersive experiences, retreats, and lectures. His teachings integrate ancient wisdom with modern science and technology to provide simple daily routines that can help you achieve unity, love, and joy in your life. One of NOA's most notable experiences was spending a total of 40 days in darkness with no food, living with breatharians in Thailand. From this experience, NOA AON has brought back some of the most effective teachings and created a movement with the NOA movement, which aims to bring people back to unity, love, and joy. It is possible, people. Put your hands together and welcome Pavel, NOA AON.
Thank you so
Well,
much. Oh my gosh, what a grandiose start. And with the caterpillar, I love this.
so great. The dragonfly is a fascinating creature, and to get to know it from that level of detail, I want to bow down. So amazing. So great to see you again, my friend. We met briefly at the biohacking conference in Orlando a month or two ago. And it was so funny. I was wandering around, and then all of a sudden, my intuition, I love it so much. It was like, "Wee," and it brought me like a razor laser straight over to his booth. I didn't even know what it was. And the lady who was there helping, she saw me coming, and she goes, "Oh, you've been here before?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just supposed to be here. What is this?" And so she told me, and the energy there was amazing, and I had to meet Pavel, and here we are together. So Pavel, I am going to allow you to have 1 minute with the audience, just to let them know who you are, anything you want to share, and I'm going to duck out, and then we'll start our interview together. All right?
Amazing. Thank you. Wow. Let's head with this minute. So I'm born and raised in Czech Republic. I've been an avid seeker of truth my whole life. I didn't believe in the traditions of society, the schooling system, the things that were, shoved into our mind. And essentially, I've come from lots of pain, suffering. I mean, whatever it was, a physical disease that I had from the age of 17. I had a chronic fatigue, Epstein-Barr. I was literally sick every 2 weeks, which led me into the physical transformational part, all the way to the emotional baggage and pain and not understanding my relationships and the environment that I live in. And essentially, I spent the last 15 years traveling the world of seeking what is truth, what is the true meaning of love, and how do we live in happiness, health, and harmony. And that led me on a crazy quest, which is some of the wisdom that I've been able to bring in today as I've been on this journey through self-transformation, just like any of us. But I think I brought these simple tools and simple method to be able to identify where are you today? How can you move to the next greatest expression ever held about who you are, and make it simple, make it fun, make it easy, because sometimes we're on this journey in a very hard way. And so I came from professional cyclist into a entrepreneur. I got burned out again as an entrepreneur, opening Orange Theory fitness locations all over the country. And then I went into the dark room and I realigned everything. Everything that I had, I actually lost after that. So I went from making millions to completely being broke, and then making it back up when I found a true abundance, when I found a true passion, purpose, and legacy. And so I'll leave it there.
Amazing, amazing. So the dark room is where the real transformation happened. Is that what I understood you to say?
It was the deepest pivotal moment because I walked in there still as a busy entrepreneur,
Right.
and it took me about 7 days before I finally lost it. And then I started crying and purging, and I went into this deep state of bliss, so to speak. And for the first time in my life, I touched myself who I am, not who I am not, or who I wanted to be, or who I was told to be. And so I literally had this vision. NOA means movement. AON means all or none. It symbolizes duality. And up until that point, I was playing ping pong, highs and lows, and good days and bad days. And I was like, there must be another way. And that's the harmony. That's the one in the center where we step outside of the duality and we can actually realize how freaking amazing we are.
I love that. We really are freaking amazing. I love that. I love that so much. I have a friend, Wilson, who went and just did that, and he said it was life changing as well. And I think it was 40 days as well. Were you able to see eventually in the dark, even though it's pitch dark? You were able to see. Did that happen to you or no?
There is no light, so you will never see. But what you will see, you're going to start seeing lights everywhere. And that's through the DMT release into your brain. And
Okay.
so what actually happens after about 3 or 4 days, your pineal gland gets completely cleared out. And remember, my dark room is with the breatharians, so there is no physical food. And any other dark rooms, they actually eat. And we still eat, but we eat prana, we eat energy source. This is really out there, and it was out there for me as well before I had the same, the same experience. And then it took me 2 weeks after the dark room to reintroduce food again. because I wasn't hungry. It was the craziest feeling, like, what the hell is happening? And
Yeah.
so I know what was happening. We were tapping into this limitless source that everybody has. We're just vibing too high. Our overly beta brain waves, the overly thinking mind, is taking up way too much space. And that's why we're hungry. That's why we're dense. That's why we live in that keynote of density. But what you do there, if you imagine a piano and you can vibrate in a different accord, you're going up higher and higher. So you need less and less of the density. And that comes into your food as well.
Yeah, you can't do that and come out the same person. I haven't done anything like that, but I spent a month in India at ECOM, which is the World Center for Enlightenment, and we did a month of no talking and lots of meditation and processes, and yeah, I'm not the same person. You can't take time like that to go inward and come out the same way. And it's amazing. So what you have a beautiful 4-step self journey for transformation, and I would love for you to share that with our audience today.
Yeah, so I'll quickly bring up a model. It's called a me, we, be model, which actually it serves as like a foundation to understand the process. So after these 15 years of traveling and learning from all of these people and starting to really understand what does harmony and health mean, then I actually saw that life is so simple when we live and operate within those eternal truths that have been, brought to this, living experience. Now, what I came about is that the me is the individual consciousness, we is the collective consciousness, and then B is the supra collective consciousness. You can think about it as a microcycles and macrocycles. And in our journey, we continue to receive all of these experiences in life to either re-see them, whatever it's your dietary preferences, your relationships, your thoughts, and we can either keep on being in the same cycle until something negative happens in our life to wake us up, or you can continue seeing these as a great way to learn and re-see them into that higher vibratory accord. Now, when I break down the me, it's the physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body. The physical body started for me in this journey because I was so sick. And basically, essentially, it is, biohacking is a great resource for that. Your sleep, your nutrition, your diet, your supplements, like how can you take advantage of this temple and make it properly attuned so you can even receive more. Then is the mental body, which is kind of like a software. So hardware, the physical, mental is the software. And essentially, when you're downloading new app on a phone or on a computer, you connect to the internet and then you receive. Now, for us, it's connecting into the inner net, which is shifting the brain waves from that beta into the alpha theta, and then to be able to receive all of this limitless knowledge that's been always given to us. So mental body, I used to think I'm not worthy of. I am not good enough. I don't look good enough. All of the thoughts everybody has. But anytime I had the thought, I wrote it down, rewrote it, and basically upgraded the software, downloaded a new app that now serves me instead of working against me. Then we've got the emotions. And so emotions are real, right? So emotions is what makes our life experience real. And if we're constantly in jealousy, fear, pain, anxiety, and we continue experiencing this life as that, then we're obviously not feeling well. And so for me, that was tackling my traumas, tackling my past relationships, and really opening up that heart so that way I can feel this joy and love and passion that we're meant to feel at a higher vibratory rate. Now, then it's the spirit. And so I spent a month with the psychics in Brazil to learn that basically we've got the 5 physical senses, and then we have 4 spiritual senses. This is your inner hearing, inner seeing, inner knowing, and inner feeling. Some people call it the empaths, versus the clairaudient. Many different terms, but I want to bring it into simplicity again because everybody has these. And I'll give you an example. Inner hearing, that's that whisper, the little voice that always has your highest interest. Stop watching TV at night, start exercising, stop drinking alcohol. It always is there, but we don't listen to it. So how we strengthen that? We simply acknowledge it. Thank you, I heard that. And what you gonna do about that? Because that's the most important part.
Yes.
Now, when you follow the voice, that voice gets louder and louder, and it overpowers the monkey brain, that egoic voice, the mind. Nothing wrong with ego, but again, if you can reprogram your ego to work for you, and then you integrate it with this higher mind, then life really can shift very rapidly. And again, I used to not believe in that. I was an entrepreneur going in there with an open heart and open mind, and then had an experience that, wow, this is possible. And that's kind of how all of these lessons came about. Then we've got the inner seeing. That's a lucid dreaming, or this could be a visionaries, a business idea that you have 6 months from now that you're bringing here from the limitless mind of the unified realms. Then you've got your inner feeling. This is when you felt wrong about the person, or you go into a room, there was a fight, and something doesn't feel right. It's in your body. Now, the fourth one is your inner knowing or intuition. And this is when you knew you shouldn't have gone to the party. You knew that person was cheating on you. But here's the thing. When you think, you don't know. When you know, you don't think. So that's how you discern it. It's that knowing.
Yes. Love that.
And same thing. How do you strengthen this? Very simply, you acknowledge it, you follow it, and what you're going to do about it. That's the most important part. So that's the body, mind, soul, emotions. Nothing new, nothing different. Just an approach into the individual consciousness, the microcycle that you can make an effect in your life. Then you've got the we, the collective consciousness. So for me, the natural question was like, what about my mom and dad and friends and families, brothers and sisters? And that goes into relationships. So what are those top 5 relationships that are fueling you forward or taking you backwards? Because if you have people that are telling you can't, you won't, this is not a good team to have. So you got to replace the team or upgrade the team that you have. Then it goes into environment. So after I kept on growing, I was like, what about the air that I'm breathing, the food that I'm eating, the drink that I'm drinking, the EMF exposure that we're being exposed to from everywhere, the frequencies. And so that is nice. Yes, fully protected. That is the vital part, is taking charge of the environment. And it goes even as deep, by the way, as clothing. You know, are we wearing toxic clothing that we're absorbing with our skin? Are we breathing in a toxic paint in our body? So this goes into details, but that all affects the me. So this is the we, collective consciousness. And then the B is the supra consciousness, back to the essence that every single one of us are. And this is, how did we get here? You know, if universe was created 13.5 billion years ago, we're such a little dot on that macro cycle that, yes, we're of it. We make a difference in it. But we got to look at all 3 levels as something that we came here to learn, to ascend into Earth, and to descend from Earth, while we're exchanging the gifts with everybody that we meet around us. So that's the me, we, be model. Now, in this, I created the 4 steps of this journey. So for me, it always started with the wake up phase. This is when you bring up data. There is an awakening process that your relationship is not working for you. Maybe you take a blood test and you score low on vitamin D. Maybe you score high on environmental toxins. So this is a data that you can apply to the model that I just explained. And then when you have the data, the second phase is the cleanup. So I used to be master at thinking that I can have the past self and I can also have the new self. But what I've learned is you can't have the new without letting go of the old. So this is when the old relationships, this is when you detox your body. This is when you detox your mind, and you know, you basically got to let it go. You got to let it out of the surface. So wake up, clean up. Now, then there is the power up phase. That's the third one. And this is when you bring vitamin D supplements. This is when you bring the new tribe, the new thoughts that you are powerful, that you are strong, that you can do. And this is that embodiment of growing forward. And the fourth stage is rest up. And this is what I call the process of unhooking. If we don't unhook from this world and take a pause, how the hell do we know who we are? And this is because we're constantly bombarded by people, information, and things. And so what that is, once a day, as soon as I wake up, I spend 1 to 2 hours without anything and anyone, just in my presence, practicing my morning ritual. Once a week, I spend 1 full day completely unhooked from the digital, physical, everything. It's the day that I take for myself. Once a month, it's 3 to 4 days, because sometimes it takes a while. It takes about 3 days to fully unhook. And if you ever been to a vacation, the first couple of days, you're on the phone and you don't know what to do with yourself. All of a sudden, the pace is so slow. And then the last 2 days of the vacation, you're like, I don't want to go back to the madness. Like, I just finally dropped in. So this is why at least once a month, 4 days is amazing. And once a year, 10 to 15 days. For me, it's the dark room. It could be Vipassana. It could also just be rent a cabin in the middle of nowhere and just be with yourself. Because if you don't spend that time, how do you know who you are? And this is so crucial because I realign myself. I rewrite who I want to be, who I want to meet. What did I do well in the past? And how am I going to target the future? And so that's the me, we, be, and wake up, clean up, power up, and rest up.
Mic drop. Amazing. Wow. Okay. So, yes, takeaways for me in that beautiful chunk and full of nuggets is just understanding that there is a foundation, that you have to know what the foundations are before you can do anything about it, right? So you have to know what those are, and then you get to dissect it. But it really isn't difficult when you chunk it down. I love how you took what you just shared was really ethereal in lots of ways, and you just made it make total sense to the here and now. And what a gift you are. I'm actually here in Phoenix right now doing that exact thing, just taking some time for me alone. I almost never get that, and I needed to do that, and it's hard for me. And I'm a couple days in going, what am I going to do with myself? And it's beautiful. So I am, what is that? That's resting up. That's the last one, right? Resting up.
Yeah. And, and in the rest up, that's when you reevaluate, reassess. This is that great time to actually write, use a journal. Don't use your computer or phone. Just get off of the schedule and just listen to your heart. Like, what makes your heart sing? Maybe discover that. And, in this process, I found a passion, purpose, and legacy, which is how I spend my time now. And, my passion is the music, creating frequency sounds on a modern beat. My purpose is retreats, workshops, immersive experiences, and lectures. And my legacy is how we make means with this, creating a conscious products and helping people with exactly what we say to be able to then integrate in their everyday life.
Wow. Amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this. I'm wondering, so your biggest transformation was the dark room. And was it your health that you were trying to break through? Was that the catalyst? Was your health? Or was it more mental? Or was the mental is what created the health problem? Do you know?
So the health problems were created. So I was a professional athlete, and basically I started my first business when I was 17 years old, and I was trading on Alibaba and eBay carbon bike frames because I was in the cycling industry.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, instead of me recovering after 7-8 hour days on the bike ride, I was on the calls with the factory. I was on the call with making this business. So I burned myself down so much so that I literally collapsed in a Czech national race. And essentially, what happened was it led me into an awakening moment. Like, first of all, I had to quit cycling. Second of all, I had to realign my life. And essentially, I moved into business. Now, when I got into business, I essentially still committed myself that every 3 months, I'm going to do something very discomfortable to find myself and who I am. Because even in business, I still wasn't happy. I check mark everything, the American dream and the money, the everything that we're taught to value in this world. But I had this deep, hole in my life, and my relationships weren't working for me. And so this is what really drove me to learn from these masters to understand it. And whatever tools that worked, I put it into what I teach today. And because that healed me, that helped me. And, simplicity is everything for me, because without a simple ways and terms, the old masculine way is old regiments and 10 years of school and I don't know what else. The good old feminine way is to simple, fun, joy. And we need to bring that back. We need to even that out, because then life can truly shift.
Absolutely. I was talking about to a friend the other day about how I love to simplify things. I think when you had me today when you said life is simple, and I'm like, yes, yes, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be so hard. And that's what this show really is about these little nuggets, these little 2 millimeter differences that if we just did it just a little different, the life is different. The trajectory is different. It's epic. So what is your primary question that you ask yourself, Pavel, when you need to break through?
Who am I? Who am I? And where am I? Where am I? So it's constant, because anytime I go into that old state, and by the way, I'm not mastering anything but the actual knowing of the transformation. So, the minute that you think that you've leveled up to something, there's a whole new thing that comes up, and that never ends. And so that's why if anybody calls themselves masters at any kind, then it's just that limited level that they've been able to obtain before there's so much more. And so where am I? The reason why is because if I'm in the past, in the future, if I'm on my phone, if I'm holding the phone and I'm giving all my consciousness inside of the phone, that I'm not in my body. And so where am I is really important, because in everyday life, I practice something called the instant presence, which is being aware of the breath, being aware of your full body's awareness, and then paying attention to the stillness and silence underneath the noise. And that can be done anywhere. You could be in the busiest room or festival or subway and still practice this, because it brings your instant presence. It brings your awareness back. And then who am I? I mean, that's a reflection of continue staying up to that light, continue staying up to that vision that I have about myself, so I continue moving forward. So if these negative thoughts come, negative emotions, negative situations perceivably, then I know that I got to surrender and stick to what I have planned.
I love it. And how can people reach out to you and connect with you?
So we NOAAON.com, NOAAON.com. And also with this recording, so we're offering a free on-demand library. So you can actually take any of our breathwork, dance, meditation, and education from your home. And also we have a 30% discount if you wish any of our conscious products offering. But we also do so many events. I mean, I do about 120 to 150 events all around the world. And that's the immersive experiences, retreats, or workshops. And so right now I'm off because I'm delivering our baby Pixie here in Hawaii. But October, we will do West Coast US, November, East Coast US, and then we're going to head to South America, Australia, and Asia. So we're going to kind of stack this as we go from there on.
Amazing. Reach out to Pavel. He's amazing. I met your family. So awesome. I saw your son and I said, "You must be Pavel's son." He goes, "I am," with so much pride. And then your daughter heard me and she poked away around from the corner and she says, "I am too." She didn't want to be left out. She wanted the whole world to know that you were her dad. What a beautiful soul you are. I appreciate you. I love you. I can't wait to be in your presence again, my friend. Thank you for what you're doing for this beautiful planet and the people on it. Keep going. Keep going.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll have you on at the end, and I'm going to ask you the question. If you were on a mountaintop and you had one thing to share with the world, what would that be? So we'll have you right back after this brief commercial. This is a very cool thing. It's a vibe. You can lay on it. It helps get rid of trauma from the body. It's very cool. Check it out. right, it's time for Mantra Magic. This is the part of the show where we sing a little song or do a poem where we get to reprogram our mind. All right, so here is your mantra for the week. Welcome to Mantra Magic. I'm here with Maria Ishtali, and as two sickies today, we're bringing you your mantra of the week. Here we go. New day, light of the earth, and today I'm choosing to be free. New day, light of the earth, and today I'm choosing to be me. New day, light of the earth, and today I'm choosing to be free. And today I'm choosing to be me. And today I'm choosing to be free. Make today glorious. All right, there's your mantra. You can find it every week on Fridays on Instagram at Amy Joy Coaching if you want to see the others and wake up with a different tune in your head rather than the I'm not good enough one that often shows up. All right, it's time for a meditation moment. All right, this is your chance to gather the kids, the grandkids, everyone around you, and just sit for 5 minutes. We are going to get present for 5 minutes. And these might possibly be your most favorite 5 minutes of the day. So come, sit. Put your hands on your lap. Take a deep breath in. We're going to play music from the amazing Gary Malkin. You can find his beautiful compositions on Gaia TV, Islands of Inner Peace. But for right now, I want you to just breathe in and notice your breath. And I want you to notice and observe, how are you feeling right now? Do you feel crappy? Do you feel happy? Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. Just notice. And breathe. And I want you to notice, what are you thinking about right now? Are they thoughts of the past? Are they thoughts of the future? Or are you here right now? Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. And breathe. I want you to visualize a candle flickering right in front of your eyes. Notice the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the whites. Just notice. And then slowly slide that candle into the middle of your brain. Right into the middle of your head. And watch it flicker there. and breathe. With your hands on your heart, I want you to think about one thing that you are so grateful for. So grateful it brings a smile to your face. And from this expanded place, I want you to just set the intention, if you want, to receive this beautiful energy activation. It's sent with so much love. With a deep breath in and an exhale. Another deep breath. Beautiful. Well done. Way to go. Take 5 minutes. You can do this throughout the day. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Serene Mind Practice. It's from Ekam. Ekam means oneness, the World Center for Enlightenment. It's a beautiful practice, and you can do it throughout the day. All right. I am going to bring back Pavel. Here he comes. Yay. How was that for you, my friend?
I loved it because I do this in midday and I haven't had a chance. So thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
what a beautiful soul that you are. And I love your mission and all that you do for the people, because this educational portal is what inspires and motivates for change. So thank you on behalf of everyone.
Thank you. We are a team. We're all in this together. That's the we part, right? Beautiful. All right. So if you were on a mountaintop and you had only one thing you could share with the world and they were paying attention, what would you share?
So it's ironic. 2 weeks ago, I was climbing the highest mountain in Southeast Asia, a last minute decision in one day. And I had these thoughts literally there. And, it is to reflect love and receive love, because there's nothing more. And what I mean by it is to see love in everything and everyone as if it's just energy of this pure light, and see that inside of you to reflect from everyone. And one of my favorite tools that I like to self-practice, I don't teach this, every airport I go into, every grocery store I go into, I just acknowledge the light and love in everyone. And especially try this trick next time that you are having at the cashier's desk. Sometimes they are not in the best mood, and sometimes you can just feel like, something hasn't been just clicking.
Yeah.
So I would do this little mantra before I see them, and every time they literally are different to me than they were in the previous customer. So love is in all, and love is all, and that's the reflection of that.
Breathe that in. Breathe that in. Everybody take a deep breath. Yes. Yes. Be love. I have a hat I had made. It says be love. What's the next loving thing? Like, be the next loving thing. Not even do it. Be it. Be the next loving thing. I love it. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Go check out Pavel. He's on Instagram at NOA AON official. So go find him there. He's up to all kinds of things. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone that's with us. I appreciate you. You spent your very valuable time with us today. We'll see you next week. And remember that together we vibrate higher. And that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you. Mwah. Besos.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.